And finally tonight, the 118th running of the Boston Marathon, the first since last year's terrorist attacks at the finish line. This time, everything went off exactly as planned, and American Meb Keflezighi won for the men, and Rita Jeptu of Kenya defended the women's title she won last year. Today's race hosted the most runners in 2 decades and the most spectators ever. More than 1 million people lining the streets, creating both challenges and opportunities. Our Scott Cohn reports from Boston.
The mission: stage a race that feels like any other in a year like no other. At the start of the race, a moment of silence. And along the route, unprecedented security for 36,000 participants and 1 million spectators. But at the same time, there was a concerted effort to make the security invisible.
My wife and child always come. You know, I've run 46 marathons, and you know, if they're sitting at the finish line, I don't want them to look up and see snipers on top of roofs. I don't want them to see men in tactical gear. This is a family event. I want it to remain such.
Last year's deadly bombings taught lessons the hard way about protecting targets like sporting events, shopping malls, and hotels. Ed Davis retired as Boston police chief last year. Now he's a consultant.
This was not a closed event. It was a soft target in that people could move around. But clearly, backpacks were a threat to us, and more than a threat than we assumed.
2013 taught law enforcement about the importance of surveillance cameras and social media to share what they see. 2013 not only changed security to the core, it also struck a nerve in Boston and around the world. And that's actually measurable in dollars and cents. A fund for victims and their families raised more than the victim funds in Newtown, Connecticut, Aurora, Colorado, and at Virginia Tech University combined.
In 60 days, 100,000 donors from around the nation contributed $61 million.
And this year, the security, the visitors, the media are expected to spend a record $175 million, which the mayor would trade in a heartbeat.
Today's not about the money. Today is about the spirit of this race.
This year's marathon is a major stride to restore the spirit the world has come to love. Scott Cohn, Nightly Business Report, Boston.